Welcome to day 322 of our DeSo journey. I'm Ed Krasenstein here with my twin brother Brian. And yesterday, well, first, I guess I should say these videos are sponsored by NFT Tech and Investor and Clout Feed. I almost forget that every single day. But yesterday, Nordian was the Team DeSo Community Spotlight member. So every week, the Team DeSo account is spotlighting one creator, developer, individual on DeSo. And this week it's Nordian. And Nordian has been on DeSo since March 23rd. He's been with us pretty much from the beginning. He's a builder, an NFT collector. I don't know. I think he's everything, right?
Yeah, I used to call him a developer, but then he corrected me and said he's not a developer, but he has a lot of good ideas. He's like an idea guy.
I always called him a developer too. But yeah, he's
Yeah,
smart, a smart guy, and yeah, he contributes a lot to DeSo.
definitely. And it's people like him who have stuck around since March, almost going on a year, who I think deserve a lot of respect just because of course DeSo has these slow periods and it might be discouraging to some people, but most of these people that stuck around, they've remained positive. I'm not saying they haven't have not given criticism in the past, but overall they've remained positive. They understand the technology and they understand where the potential is, and I think that deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah, congrats, Nordian. Well deserved. Good pick.
Wait. Hold on. This is for Nordian.
Really? All right. So yesterday, OverClout, they're teasing more and more features. So we've been talking about them for the last few episodes. I think there are a new node that's launching. It appears to be a web app by Move On, which is a company created by Don Hardman. And they have a new feature on the stream when you're viewing the feeds that when you play a video or play an audio, a song or something that's on a feed, instead of just playing in that box there and when you scroll, you lose it, it's actually going to pop up a box on the bottom left corner with that video in it or with that audio file player in it so that you can scroll through the stream and through the feed without losing that video or that audio file. So I think that's another great feature. Again, yesterday we talked about the liking. You're going to have the ability to like with different emojis. So I love what they're doing.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of like Facebook, where if you open a video and then scroll, that video pops up in the bottom right corner and it continues to play. I think it's just turning Web3 more into Web2, taking some of those cues from Web2, but not turning it in, of course. Of course, you have all the benefits of Web3. And I think that providing some of these aspects that people are familiar with on other Web2 properties is important because it makes them feel more comfortable, maybe helps retain them, and when they do get on, they kind of understand things better. I love what they're doing. And I know I say this every episode that we talk about them. They're working really hard, and I think the next few weeks and months ahead for them are going to be quite impressive.
Yeah, definitely. And yesterday, ArtStation, which is on Astronation by Kanchi, announced that they're getting ready for their alpha launch next week. So Astronation is a metaverse that's being developed by DeSo OG and developer Kanchi. It starts out in space. It looks really cool the way he's doing it. I'm really excited for it. But ArtStation's a community built in Astronation. It's a star station focused on exhibition and sales of art on Astronation. So it's going to be awesome. They're going to have a billboard. They're going to have billboards in ArtStation, which are huge. I think it's like 100 feet or something wide in the virtual reality world. That's going to show NFTs on them. So it's going to be interesting. I think there's a lot of different metaverses being created, both on top of DeSo and on top of other blockchains that the crypto world can get excited about.
Yeah, it's really interesting, like that the blockchain's kind of converging with the metaverse so rapidly. Like I would almost say that there's more innovation going on within the blockchain space for the metaverse than outside. And I'm sure Facebook's spending billions and billions of dollars, so that's
It's
probably
the
inaccurate.
metaverse.
But
It's not the metaverse. You always say metaverse, and it makes me want
the
to scream every time
metaverse.
you
I'm
say that.
sorry. I'm sorry. But yeah, what Conchi's doing is awesome. I've been following along for a few months now, probably a month and a half now, and I think he's probably one of the more brilliant people on DeSo, up there with Salil Sethi. So definitely check out what he's doing. Really excited.
Yeah, definitely. So Tyne noted that on GitHub, there's now a hypersync dip created by Patern, and you can review it. He recommends you review it. Hypersync is going to allow nodes to sync a lot faster. I know we're excited about this with NFTZ because we had all those delays with Postgres, and then you had to wait like 24 to 36 hours to sync up once the bugs were fixed. So hypersync is going to allow for quick syncing of nodes. The one-line description on GitHub is, I'll read it to you guys. We present hypersync, a new approach to node synchronization designed for infinite state blockchains that is orders of magnitude faster than traditional block synchronization. We explain two technological innovations called elliptic sum and ancestral records that make hypersync possible. So it sounds amazing. I'm not technical enough to really thoroughly understand it, but if you're a developer, you definitely want to check that out on GitHub.
Yeah, it's way over my head. So I don't want to jump into the technicals of it. Even Tyne said that it was kind of not over his head, but he has a lot of reading to do to fully understand what it encompasses. But I'm interested to see what Tyne has to say once he reads everything and kind of weighs in on it, because I think this could have a lot of potential to kind of set DeSo apart from other projects that are trying to get into the I guess social media blockchain area. So I think if they can really nail something down that can help with syncing a large amount of data like this rapidly, we can really get put far and wide ahead of these other competitors. But having said that, I'm guessing that others can probably use similar technologies in the future. But I think if we get the foot in the door and really push things forward before anybody else, it's going to set DeSo apart.
We give a lot of diamonds, but not 4,000. But according to Open Prosper Salil Sethi, StarGeezer has given the most diamonds on a single day among non-bot accounts. And that was 4,824 diamonds on January 30th. I don't know how he did it. I mean, that's a lot of diamonds. Like I've tried giving a lot of diamonds in a row and you get error messages. You got to wait for the previous one to thoroughly go through first. So StarGeezer must have sat on his computer for 24 hours just clicking. I don't understand how it happens, but that's awesome, StarGeezer. Thanks for sharing your diamonds with the community. Salil also mentioned that for non-bot accounts, the Be Active bot has once gave 6,148 diamonds in a single day, and that was on October 18th, 2021, so last year. But once again, good job, StarGeezer.
So many cool stats from Salil. I'm a stats guy. I love seeing statistics and comparing statistics. So I just love what Salil is doing. But going back to StarGeezer, it's funny because right before we started filming this video this morning, literally 10 minutes before, I was checking my notification. I noticed I had 99 notifications in the last probably 10 minutes. So I'm like, what's all these notifications? Things are blowing up. And I look and we have over 100 diamonds from StarGeezer. So before even posting this, before even recording this, StarGeezer was giving us diamonds. And we're not talking about it because he gave us diamonds. We already had this in our notes before I noticed it.
It's like every day we give about, I'd say, between 200 and 500 diamonds. And that takes up a whole lot of time. It's like I had to find free time in order to do that. And a lot of days I just don't have the time to do it. So we might only give 100 that day, but giving 4,824, I think it was. I mean, that's crazy.
It really is. It's nuts, but in a good way, right?
Yeah, it's crazy in a good way. Keep it up, StarGeezer. So yesterday, Brutal and Tyne were having a discussion about the impact of DeSo username squatting, Brian.
Yeah, so yesterday or the day before, we talked about an account that's buying up a lot of 3-letter and 4-letter and number usernames. And it was kind of like domain name investing. Like he's buying these up. They only cost 5 cents to register a username, so it's a lot cheaper than domain names. We talked about, is this really something we want happening here? What are the repercussions? Should Natter be doing something? Should there be some sort of DeSo DAO that allows for the core team to maybe take some of these usernames away? But Brutal made an interesting post, and he said, don't panic. You shouldn't be panicking because the damage is going to be slim. The account, I think, was registering 5,000 usernames a day. That's how long it basically took a certain amount of seconds in between registration. So they could only do 5,000 in a day. So they register mostly 3 and 4 letter usernames or numbers usernames. And Brutal pointed out, if they actually started moving on to like 6 letter or 7 letter names, it would literally take them 169 years to register all 6 letter usernames, and it'll take 4,400 years to register all 7 letter usernames. Now, this obviously doesn't account for what if they had 1,000 bots, then that number's cut by 1,000. So instead of 169 years, it would be probably about a month to register all 6 letter usernames. But Tyne also pointed out, he suggested, why don't they raise the price on some of the registrations? So right now it's 5 cents to register a username, approximately 5 cents. What if they said 5 cents for anything 6 letters and over? If it's 5 letters, then make it 50 cents. If it's 4 letters, then make it $5, 3 letters, $50, and so on. That could be a good solution. Tyne also pointed out that at the current rate of 5 cents, it will cost approximately $15 million to register all 6 letter usernames. And if I'm doing the math correctly, it would be about almost $400 million if you were to register all 7 letter usernames. So it's not a huge concern, but at the same time, $15 million would be a drop in the bucket to a major corporation that sees DeSo as a competitor. If Twitter said, hey, DeSo is a competitor, let's screw them over and register all 6 letter usernames for $15 million, that's like less than a day's worth of revenue. So I think that it should be something in the back of our minds, but I wouldn't panic quite yet unless we see something happen on a larger scale.
Yeah, and I mean, it happened with domain names too. People mass registered domain names back in the day and made millions with 2-letter domain names. Brian and I actually owned ay.com at one point. We had bought it and then we eventually resold it for a profit, but now it's probably worth a ton more than what we paid. And we still own a lot of 3-letter.com domain names as well. So, you know, it's part of the game, I guess. It's part of the internet, and Web3 is going to have its own things.
Yeah, but I do want to point out domain names are a little bit different. It costs approximately like $6 or $7 a year for a domain name. So you have this, if you want to hold the domain name, you have to pay annually. On DeSo, it's a one-time fee of 5 cents, and that's for eternity. So you can't really compare the two because it costs a lot more to hold domain names than it would.
And the cost of the .com domain names, probably when 2-letter and 3-letter .coms were being registered, were probably closer to $100 a year to register and renew every year. So, you know, that's definitely a good point. But moving on, Meredith Marcone, you know her for her Medizins NFTs and the Art Collective DAO. She has some changes and some announcements that she made yesterday. The Art Collective account on DeSo has been renamed to Medizins NFT. So it's no longer the Art Collective, it's Medizins NFT. And that's in preparation for their upcoming Solana generative mint. And what's really cool about this is her generative NFT mint on Solana for the Medizins are going to be available in Supernovas, which is a DeSo NFT node. Supernovas is integrating with Solana. So her NFTs on both DeSo and Solana will be viewable over there, which is pretty cool, I think. And a Medizin DAO account, Medizins DAO DeSo account was created, and that for all the DAO related information for Medizins DAO. And of course, if you own a Medizins NFT, that gives you permission to join the Medizins DAO. And the DAO, she said the DAO's still like in the works. There's been a few votes so far. They haven't actually went out and purchased NFTs yet with the DAO. They're looking at legality. She wants to make sure she does it correctly. So it's going to be interesting to follow Meredith. She's really breaking some ground. She's really a pioneer in this area.
Yeah, and the fact that she's minting some of these NFTs on Solana, it's not a negative for DeSo, because those people buying the Solana NFTs are also going to probably find out that she's minting on DeSo as well. So we might actually bring over a bunch of Solana collectors to DeSo, and I doubt you're going to get. I'm willing to bet that you're going to get more people coming from Solana to DeSo than going from DeSo to Solana. So I think it's a good way, a good bridge to kind of bring people together from all these different NFT ecosystems.
Yeah. So like if you're looking at her Solana NFTs and you're like, oh, wow, she has a DeSo NFT and that one's even cooler. How do I get this? Oh, I just need to create a DeSo account. Oh, simple. And then I can buy her NFTs. So I think
it might be cheaper too.
Yeah, I mean, in likelihood, they will probably end up being cheaper if they go to the secondary market, just because there's so many more collectors on Solana than on DeSo. But I guess there's also a lot larger of a supply of NFTs. So we'd have to see how it works out. So I don't want to commit and say her DeSo NFTs are going to end up being cheaper, because that might not be the case. So who were the top 7 earners yesterday, Brian?
Yeah, I love, like I said, I love statistics. So I'm always on Open Prosper. So I looked at the top 7 earners of the last 24 hours. And this is the list. Unicat made $390. DeSomon made $213. Wordplay, which was Dharmesh's new application, made $174. Clay Oglesby made $159. I'm guessing flipping NFTs. Kissers made $99, and Cloutcox made $90. So I think although these numbers aren't huge, this is one day. So like having this many people making this much money in a single day, I think says a lot. And there's only like 3,000 daily active users, so it's not that bad. It's actually pretty good. And I think overall, I think there was $2,500 made in total yesterday on DeSo from all the users combined. 14 creators made at least one DeSo, which is about $45. So it's pretty impressive for how little activity there is. Just imagine if things increased 100x or 1,000x, you'd be seeing people making $30,000 a day, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And Kissers, of course, they were in our Twitter Spaces room yesterday, and the Twitter Spaces room went really well. I think we had close to 50 people in the room at one time. There's some people there who were not from DeSo, which is really cool. We're starting to see more people coming to learn about DeSo. But Kissers is a young girl who has created this collection. She is actually the daughter of Dutch Bahari, who is also minting NFTs on DeSo. He was in the room, as was Jody Bozzard and Meredith Marcone, talking about DeSo NFTs. And you definitely check out Kissers NFTs. They're really cool. They're these lips on these bodies. Check it out at kissers.nftz.zone. They're really, really neat. Brian and I bought a couple of them. So as far as community events today, 11 a.m. Eastern time is the DeSo Week-in-Review. Are you ready, Brian? Do you have your list ready for that?
I'm going to do that as soon as we stop recording here.
Yeah, so that's on Clubhouse at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Brian goes over the list of all the news from the past week, and it can last quite a while for him to go through the list. Again, that's Clubhouse, 11 a.m. It's hosted by DeSo Chats with Miss Katie Ann and Michelle Lord. Also, French Connector, Wildography, and Rhubarb should be there. Then at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time on Clubhouse, DeSo Ugly Ass 007. It's an NFT auction party for, I guess, Ugly Ass 007 on Clubhouse with Refined ENT, BitSynth, and many others. Definitely check that out. I love what Ugly Ass is doing with his NFTs. He's been a true DeSo OG He's been part of this community and doing some great things, so definitely support him. 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, Kamalia and Theophilus on Entra. It's called Metabyte. So definitely check out that. It's a Entra room. I love what Entra's doing. Definitely support their community. More and more people from Entra I see are coming over to DeSo as well, linking their accounts, so that's awesome. At 8 p.m. Eastern time, Todd Complex's Pilot Scene 3 will be released on Clubhouse. It's part of the release party. Definitely check that out. I love his NFTs. I actually made a post with the NFTZ account about some of his Todd Complex character NFTs the other day. He has some really cool stuff. In that room, there will be Zeta Reticuli and MERS, and you can check out Todd Complex's NFTs at Todd Complex with 1D, Todd with 1D, complex.nftz.zone. And we're excited about nftz.zone. The new UI should be coming out next week. So we're excited about that. I know we've been saying this a lot.
We might start teasing some things over the next day or two if
yeah, and
there
are gonna be a few alpha testers probably in the next couple of days as well. We're gonna let a few people check it out. So we're excited about that. And everybody have a great day and talk to you tomorrow.